All right, it's Friday, and wrapped up with my day today, and just thought I'd throw out another little quick update. Not a really big day for me like yesterday. Much smaller day. As you can see, I made 330 between the two accounts, one PA and one evaluation. PA account 13 there. It's on the 17th day, and just made $73. This account, actually, my first trades were over here. I didn't trade the first couple hours of the market today. I had to get my daughter up and get her to school today, and so I didn't start trading until right around 9:30 here on the West Coast, so 12:30 Eastern. And my first trade did like a fake out on me. Let's take a look at this real quick. So you can see I did a few trades here. My first trade, you can see this. My first trade, I was going long right here, and got stopped out down here, and yeah, what did I do? I took a long, I got stopped out, it didn't pop back up. I re-entered, and I got stopped out again. So I took two small losses right off the jump. Let's see here. So yeah, I entered at 93.25 and got stopped out at like 93. And another one I got in at 94.75 and got stopped out at 93. It looks like something like that. So right off the bat, I was down a little bit, and then I actually took another long here. So my entry was 95.25, and then I got my full scalp on this one, which is 6.5 points, and then I had a runner contract that got a little bit less on, and then here, what was this? Yeah, I took a short, and I got what, 3 ticks. So by the time all of this was done, I was down like almost $400, I believe, on my PA account. Let's see. Then I went to here. So here I took a long, and what I'm doing now is I'm going for 6.5 points, but on certain kinds of trades, I'm moving my stop up to break even +1 or more pretty quickly. And that was the case here. I took a break even +1, took another long here, and I was expecting it to push right away. And when it didn't push right away and took this, as soon as it started pushing up again, I moved my stop up immediately because I wasn't really liking the way this was playing out. Obviously, it would have worked for my full scalp, but I only got 2 ticks on that one. Which is fine for me. I don't mind getting 2 ticks or 1 tick or 3 ticks or whatever it is. I'd rather secure the fact that, at a certain point, the trade is not going to be a loser no matter what I do. And so that's kind of my philosophy right now, is trying to ensure that when I enter a trade, that I immediately take the risk off, almost as immediately as I possibly could. Here's another trade I took. On this one, I got, looks like 2.25 points. This was a long right before the drop here. And then my best trade of the day, even here, I was still down like, I don't know, almost $200 or so on the PA account. And then this trade came. This is the trade I took on the evaluation and the PA. I copy traded. And this was nice. I was just playing this IV spike that I was seeing with the Bollingers. And if I knew it was going to drop this way, I probably would have chosen a different ATM to use to take advantage. If you see, I actually do have 2 contracts here. And I have one of them set 2 ticks apart from the other one for my scalp. So one's 6.5 points. And then I have another contract that is 2 ticks further out. And the idea for that is just, if I think there's going to be a big move, I'll try to move that extra contract further down and try to take advantage of that, which is kind of what happened back here, I moved my extra contract further out, and then I moved my stop up once it hit my scalp, and I ended up getting less for that runner contract on that one. But this moved so fast I wasn't able to move it. So, but it's fine. This was my last trade of the day. Gave me my full scalp, which was 6.5 points and 7 points between the two contracts. And so from that last trade, I got green on the PA account. $73 isn't much, but when I was, starting off my day down about $400, and I'm really, on a mission to qualify for a payout, hopefully this coming week. So, you can see here where I'm at $430 and I'm there. So, I'm really getting close, and payout window's coming up, so it's good timing. And so, basically once I got positive and green, $73, and when was that? That was like 2 Eastern. I was still looking for other trades. I had to feed my dogs and take them out and stuff. And so by the time I was really looking for more trades around this area, it was just pretty flat. I wasn't really seeing anything. And at a certain point, probably around 3 Eastern, noon Pacific, I just decided, you know what, it's getting too late in the day. I don't want to risk going into the weekend getting red. So that was pretty much where I called it and decided, might as well just do a quick update video today, put it out there. And, I'm still moving forward. I'm being much more consistent with my green days. I have had a couple blowups, in this past month and 10 days or whatever it's been since I was last streaming. Hold on one second, get my dog to stop barking. Oh man, I just realized that the dog groomer's here for my dog, so I will be right back. All right, so where did I leave off? I was just saying, once I got green on the PA especially, I just decided, you know what, leave it off there. We're getting really close to the target, and I just don't want to get stuck in a trade at the end of the day and not be able to find another one to make up for it. So that's the deal there. On the evaluation as well, $257 on the day is fine. I don't feel pressure to pass this right away. It doesn't really matter. It's almost like in my perfect world, in my mind, I'll qualify for the payout and I'll pass the evaluation like at the same time. And then that will be awesome. So I also realized that there's some things I didn't talk about in my update yesterday that I actually wanted to kind of cover real quick. Let me see here. So yeah, I talked about that I'm using the 5 minute, but I'm not trading off the 5 minute so much as I'm really still trading off the 1 minute. But the other thing that I added that I never used to have is it's funny, I went full circle when I first started trading like stocks and options and stuff like years and years and years ago. I would look at the RSI and the MACD, and I'm not really using these things to trade off of really, but what I am using them for is just kind of an indication if we're kind of near the oversold area or if we're near the overbought area. And sometimes I draw these lines, like this green line. It's just a line that I drew in. It's kind of like seemed to be where the pivot points were, like above was bullish and below it was bearish. And so I'm just kind of using it that way and just, kind of getting an idea where the MACD is and all those sorts of things. So I've actually found it kind of helpful. I don't live by it, and I'll make trades that don't necessarily coincide with what these things look like. But I also have them on the 5 minute too. So I'm getting kind of a little bit of a bigger picture. And so that's helpful. I think the thing that I kind of wanted to talk about the most real quick, just for myself is the fact that, I was trading one system on futures for like almost 3 years and not finding success with it. And that was a max PATS system. And, it's like, I agree with the idea or the sentiment of like trying to stick with one strategy and really like dig into it and try to master it. And, if you're jumping around from strategy to strategy too often, you're never probably giving something enough chance to actually work for you. But I mean, I'm someone, I tried to trade max PAT strategy for almost a full 3 years before I started venturing off and trying different things. And I realize, in a sense, it's like, if you're coming up on 3 years on a strategy and you're not profitable, it's time to move on from that strategy. I know a lot of people that are still sticking with, watching his videos and trying to trade the way he trades and marking their charts and using the 2000 tick chart and like all these things, right? And they're like, they can't get off of it. And it's interesting because for me, I felt the same way. Like it was really hard to like take myself away from those kinds of fundamentals. Even all the stuff I've been trading, since I've been on YouTube, even though I was trying to get away from the PAT system, I was still trading second entries, so like no matter how many things I tried to change from the system, at the end of the day, the realization was like, you're still trading second entries. You're just trying to do it a different way. And no matter how many times I tried to tweak it or change the strategy for my own personal, betterment to do it a different way, but do it in a way that works better for me, I still couldn't get over like the part where I would do okay for a while and I'd make small gains, and then I would just run into a day or 2 days or a week or whatever it is where I would just lose it all back and then blow up accounts, and for me, what I found is I just don't believe that for most people, I think most people are not going to be able to find a strategy on YouTube that they see someone else doing really well with and recreate it and do just as well themselves. I've given up on that idea. I don't think it's really possible. And I kind of want to put that out there for anyone that might run into this and be like, yeah, I've been trading one way. And I just, I mean, look, if you've only been doing it for 5 or 6 months or even a year, like, you probably want to give it more time to really make sure. If it seems like something that could work for you, maybe give it more time and see if you can make it work for you. But, if you're coming up on over 2 years, 3 years, and it's still just like painful, which is what it was for me trading max PAT strategy, then, try to find something else. For me, I can only speak for myself, but I don't think that there's a strategy out there on YouTube in a book or whatever that I can just go pick it up and try to do it the way someone else is doing it and be successful. I think that's the thing that I've really taken out of this journey so far is like, I need to find things that work for me. And maybe nobody out there is doing it the way I'm doing it. Maybe some people are, who knows? But what I'm doing now is I'm just taking all the things that I've learned over the past 3 years of trading futures, and I've seen things along the way that I recognize. And, putting the Bollinger on here has really changed the game up for me quite a bit. So there's things I've started recognizing with the Bollinger, like this trade here. When the Bollinger is squeezed and then it starts pushing, I noticed that, when a bulge starts to get created, you're basically seeing an IV spike. So they don't always work, and you have to kind of know when it's good and when it's not good. And look, I didn't know it was going to drop 50 points from my entry, 50 plus points from my entry. I think it was almost 60 points there. Let's see. Here's my entry. Yeah, 51 points from my entry. I didn't know it was going to drop that much, but I did have a really good sense based on what I'm, noticing. I'm starting to take these trades. I had a trade just like this yesterday as well. Same exact thing happened. It went for like almost 100 points. It was crazy, but I only just got my 6.5 and 7 point scalps. But these are the kinds of things. I'm recognizing something in the market based on things that I've found and patterns that I'm seeing. And it's not based on what someone else is doing. It's just based on my own experience and my own observations, right? And I think, for anyone out there that's struggling, like I've been struggling, that's the one thing I would say to anybody out there is like, take what you've learned so far and just keep looking for things that speak to you, that you can find some kind of relationship with, where it helps you understand what the market's doing, because, I'll tell you what, like for as many things as I see works from Mac's PATS system, it's very subjective. And there's a lot of times where he just glosses over things, in his videos. And it's like, he'll show something one day that worked because it worked, because he shows everything after the fact. And then another day you'll see something that looks exactly the same and you'll take it and you'll lose. And then you look at his review and he doesn't even mark it. He doesn't even consider it. Right. And it's because it's different when you're looking at the market in hindsight versus looking at the market in real time. I think anyone can like take this chart, no matter what indicators you have, and after the fact say, oh yeah, I should have entered, you should enter short here. Yeah, you should enter long here. Yeah, you should enter short here, but like, it's really easy to do that after the fact. But while the market is moving and the bars are forming, can you really do that? And can you really study a chart where you're seeing entries marked after the fact? And can you really, I know some people can do that, but can most people do that? See somebody mark up a chart and say, here's where your entries should be if you follow my system, and you have to find them in the live chart. How many people can really pull that off? Maybe a couple. I know there's a couple people out there that trade Mac system and they trade brilliantly, right? And they're really good. But honestly, out of the, all the people I see out there that trade it, whether you're talking about UK futures trader who I think reads the market really well, and then trades the system. There's that guy Joe that trades the system. I know there's like Marco out there that trades it. Dan, there's a bunch of people out there, and you have like these like handful of people, but I'm aware of like hundreds of people that are trying to trade the Mac system, and most of us never make it happen. Most of us like have a stretch where we do pretty good, but I'll tell you, the system is so limiting, right? There's so very few like A+ looking setups, and you have to wait so long, and it creates an atmosphere for traders that are learning to have FOMO, because you skip so many trades, and then you see all these trades that are working, and then you finally take one and it loses. And then not only do you lose, but the risk reward on the system sucks. Most of the time, just trading Mac's way, you're trading at a 3-to-1, 4-to-1 ratio. And, you can run off 4 or 8 trades in a row that you win, and you take that 1 or 2 losses, and you're either giving it back half or all of your 8 wins, So it just wasn't a good system for me. And the best thing I did, and it's been a struggle, and I've really had to like wean myself off it, like piece by piece by piece, because it's just like ingrained in my head. After you study something for so long, you just can't like totally give it up, right? Like, how do you give up something cold turkey when that's what you've been looking at the market as, over and over and over again? Hey, quadruple R, I'll call you. Hello, how's it going? It's going good for me. Feel free to chime in and offer any opinions of anything I say if you'd like. But yeah, it's really hard to study something, a strategy for so many years and not get profitable with it. And you just keep trying and trying and trying. And then, you come to a point where you go, okay, I kind of have to start doing things differently. It's not working for me. But then you like just take little pieces away, right? Yeah, I disappeared for a while. I did. I went into the lab and I was trying to, I felt like honestly, I felt like the pressure of succeeding and streaming my trades was starting to get to me because I was failing. I wasn't getting to the promised land. I was trying everything I could think of, but then even things that were working for me in my back testing and my practicing, when I was live on stream trading, I was trading in fear all the time. Like, I was constantly and it took me to stop trading on stream and be trading just with myself and nobody over my shoulder watching me. That made me realize I was trading in fear for months on stream. And it was really kind of actually not helping me anymore. There was a point where streaming was helping me because I felt like, okay, I want to be disciplined. I need to be more disciplined. And streaming was helping me for that, like making sure I was taking the best setups I can find and not being frivolous with my trades. And so it helped me for a while in the beginning. But then it got to the point where things weren't going well. I wasn't succeeding the way I imagined I would. I wasn't being profitable. I wasn't getting payouts. And I just got to the point where I was like constantly in a state of fear and I didn't realize it in real time. But when I stopped trading on stream, I realized like, oh man, every time you took a trade, you were afraid you were going to lose. You're afraid you're going to mess up. And I feel like I was trying to get to a point on stream where I was like trying to be perfect. I don't know if you can relate to that, but I was trying to like every trade I would enter is like, it had to be the perfect trade, right? Like I wanted perfect entries. And I'd like be like really tight with my trading and it just wasn't working. It wasn't working out for me. And, Quadruple R says, have you learned anything on the market in last month? I thought you finished your challenge. Yeah. So, I have, I learned a lot, but mostly I learned more about myself, I think is what it comes down to. And that's kind of what I'm talking about at the moment is, I think the worst thing we as traders can do is be trading with fear. If you're fearful of being wrong, if you're fearful of losing, whether it's losing the trade or losing money, fearful of being imperfect, making mistakes, fearful of what other people are going to think about you when you're trading. If you're, not doing well and you get a comment and it's a negative comment, like if that gets in your mind, it's just not helpful. And honestly, the biggest part about trading for me that I found is like the system doesn't matter. The strategy, it's like a very small piece of the pie of like what profitable traders are doing to be profitable. Roman asks me to ask you to unblock him in the chat. You're friends with Roman. Maybe I'll do that at some point, but Roman was becoming a rather negative source for me. And actually, quite frankly, Roman was probably a decent part of the reason why I stopped streaming there for a minute, because I wasn't doing well and his comments weren't helpful. So I don't think I'm going to unblock him at this point, but he can hear me. And, Roman is literally the only person I've ever blocked, just to be clear. So I don't know how many people, how many views have viewed me over the, I think I've been on YouTube for about a year, maybe just under a year, something like that. So out of almost a full year, Roman's the only person I've ever blocked on YouTube. So no, I'm not going to unblock him yet, but thanks Roman for the shout out. But I think that's the thing that I learned the most about not trading, because I've been trading this whole time. Like I haven't stopped. Like you can see, this number 13 account is the same account I had when I was streaming prior. So today was my 17th day trading on it. I think when I stopped trading on stream, I had it at like 50,400, something like that, maybe. And I never stopped with these accounts. So I went and blew up account 14 and 15 while I was off stream. I think those were the accounts that were blown up. And I've blown up a couple of valuations, since I was last streaming. And, but you know, the journey has never ended. I just literally like went into the lab and just like closed everything off, you know, stopped putting my stuff out there, and just realized I got to like figure out for myself what's going to make me trade better. And a big part of that was figuring out a way to stop trading with fear. And that's what trading off stream has really given me. And it's been huge for me. You know, I felt free to make mistakes. I felt free to honestly blow accounts. I felt free to just try things and be wrong. And I didn't feel that while I was streaming. I felt like locked in, like I felt like constrained. I felt uptight. I had people like Roman watching me and commenting on me, and being somewhat negative towards me and telling me that, you know, basically, you know, someone like Roman thinks he has the answers and I should do things like him. And that gets back full circle to what I was just talking about a little while ago. I don't think anybody can trade like anybody else fully. That's just my opinion. I think for most people, most regular, normal people that are just trying to like get into trading and figure out how to be profitable trading, I don't think most of us can go to a YouTube site and see somebody's style and strategy and just try to like remake, or, you know, try to do it just like they do it. You know, I think most of us will fail trying to be like someone else, because the way I think is different than the way Roman thinks. You know, Roman's brain works the way Roman's brain works, and my brain works the way my brain works. And so, you know, and that goes for Mac, who I used to follow. Like the way he taught his system, you know, it works for him, I guess, but it wasn't working for me. And I tried and I tried and tried. And you know what? I got really good at a lot of things, a lot of aspects about that system. But at the end of the day, I would always get to a point where some mistake, minor mistake, however you want to view it, would lead to the ultimate destruction of my accounts. And so it you know, a strategy is not good if you're going to get to a point where you just ultimately end up blowing up the accounts. And a strategy where you make very little profit and then but your losses are big, right? And so that's another thing actually that I really changed about the way I'm trading now. And it's huge because now my trading is almost 1-to-1. You know, if I can just show this real quick, this has been a game changer for me. My ATM is now, I go for 26 and 28 ticks. So I'm trading 2 contracts right now on the PA. My first target is 26. My second is 28. I made it that way so that if I think there's going to be a bigger move, if there's room for a bigger move, I can take that 28 tick target and move it further out and try to get more on that extra contract. But the biggest thing for me is my stop loss is set at 30 ticks. I don't care where the bottom of the candle is anymore, which is what I was doing for all of time trading futures. Is, you know, if I had some huge big wick, I would move it to the bottom. I don't do that anymore. Now, my stop strategy in the ATM is 30 ticks. Now, if I don't need 30 ticks, if the bottom of the wick is closer than 30 ticks, then I will use the bottom. Although I'm realizing as I'm saying that, if I had done that today, if I just left my my stop at 30 ticks, the maximum stop that I'm willing to do, I wouldn't have got stopped out on my first trade today, actually. So maybe that's something I'll actually consider in the future. What I did was I moved my stop up because what I was looking for here was a bounce off my Bollinger. And what I'm looking for is big body bars where it retraces inside the bar of the previous body. And so when this came down and started going back up, I entered the trade. And in this case, I got faked out and it pulled back down and stopped me out. At the point that I entered this trade, it was matching bottoms here. Almost matching bottoms. I guess it was a little bit lower than matching bottoms because it actually touched the line. I moved my stop when it started going back up and I entered. I moved my stop up from 30 ticks. So my loss here was like really minimal. And then I re-entered again after I got stopped out, and then it pulled back, and then my stop was under this. So then I got stopped out again, right? Then I think I made a mistake. I went short because I got a little bit upset. Went short, got stopped out, and then entered long again here, and then got a full scalp here. Anyway, the point of my saying that is, let me see what Quadruple R says. Roman wasn't negative, just shared with you his deep knowledge of market for free, of course. Our universe is in perfect balance. Quadruple R, you sound a lot like Roman. Maybe he wasn't trying to be negative, but maybe he didn't realize that it was being perceived as negative. I don't know if Quadruple R, if you are just using a different account and you actually are Roman, but whatever, doesn't matter. So anyway, getting back to what I'm saying, my biggest thing right now is like, I've taken all the pressure out of my trading. One, because I'm not streaming live for my trades anymore. And two, because I'm at a near 1-to-1 risk reward. I'm risking typically 30 ticks to make 26 and 28 ticks. So if I get a loss, I nearly get it all back, like virtually almost all of it back on one single trade, right? So that already changes the game for me. And so between those two things, like the pressure's off. I feel free to take trades, and if I lose, I know that the next trade gets me virtually break even, like just slightly red with the commissions and everything, and being a couple ticks shy of the full 1-to-1. And that's changed everything for me. And today was a pretty good example of that, because today I started off red. I got faked out and I kind of made some impulsive mistakes, and I was down about $400 or so. And I said, okay, just, be calm. I got this good scalp here. That got me a chunk of it back. I was down like $250 or something like that. Then I took some little teeny, 3 ticks here, a couple ticks here, some few ticks here. And then by the time I got my full scalp on this one, I was green. So it just takes all the pressure off, because now I'm able to take more trades. The biggest thing before was just my risk reward was so off skewed. And I think, to be fair, Roman was trying to get that point across to me. And it did have an impact on me, because when I went away from streaming and was doing my own thing on my own, that was part of the thing that I was trying to figure out, is how can I trade where my maximum risk on any given trade is small? And then how small can it be? And I came up with the number 30 ticks. Sometimes I get stopped out and the trade would have still worked. But I'll re-enter the trade like I did, here. It didn't work out the first time, and then it worked out kind of over here the second time, where I'll re-enter the trade, and I have the freedom to re-enter the trade because I'm not risking a huge portion of my account on every trade. So it just makes the whole thing easier. Using the RSI, using the MACD, and then using what I know about the trends of price action. And so I'm not drawing trend lines like I used to. I'm kind of like drawing them while they're active. And then when they break, I just, usually take them away. So, when this one broke, I would have taken this one away. When this one broke, I would have taken this one away. And I know the tendencies are that when one breaks, usually you get a retest of the extreme or a new high or low off of those breaks. So there are certain aspects of things I've learned in the past, even from Max Price Action Trading System, that I'm willing to use because it's knowledge, right? But I don't have to use it within a design system that doesn't work for me. I'll use it in my own way. And so there's kind of two things I'm doing. I'm trading within the body of the previous bar. So I'm looking for like large bodies. I'm trying to trade within the previous bar's large body on the next bar. Or trades like this where I'm looking for these IV spikes, which I can see with the way the Bollingers bulge, and I'm trying to get in for those. And that's a newer aspect of it for me with the Bollingers. And the Bollinger I've been kind of using as a guide anyway. Kind of like here where I was looking for a long coming off the bottom of the Bollinger. And so, this is just stuff that I'm just like finding things that are working for me. And, here I am. I'm now nearing a possible payout for the first time. Still have not gone to payout yet. So that's where I'm at. It's the reason why I'm not going to start trading live on stream. I think I'm going to just do these kind of like live updates, if you will. If anyone shows up, I'm happy to talk to people. Quadruple R, if you are Roman, just come here and talk to me as quadruple R, and I'll talk to you that way. Or make a different make a different thing and don't tell me you're Roman, and I'll talk to you that way, I guess. I don't know. But yeah, that's kind of the game plan for me. Is I'm going to just keep trading off stream. It's working for me right now. I've had a really solid month. I did blow up 2 PA accounts in the last month off stream, but it was because I was doing some trial and error. And yeah, the way quadruple R talks about the universe, it's very, very much a Roman thing. But let's see. Quadruple R says the universe always sends help to the seeker. It's like a tail that you need to grab onto so that pulls you to another level. Promise me to unblock Roman. Maybe he's the one you need. I have to go. Good luck. I'm not going to promise to unblock Roman, but thank you, Quadruple R, for your comments. I take them, in a positive way. So that's nice, at least, right? I don't think I need Roman to, what do you say? Perhaps promise me to unblock Roman. Maybe he's the one you need. I don't think there's anyone out there that I need. That's probably like 80% of what I've said in this live stream is that I just don't believe I need anybody out there to figure out how to trade. I think trading is a solo mission. It's a personal thing. All of us are on our own when we're trading. And I've given up on the idea that there's somebody out there on YouTube or otherwise that's going to make me a good trader. The only person that's going to ever be able to make me a good trader is me. And the only way I'm going to be a good trader and be successful and profitable is by figuring out to master myself first, learn my tendencies, learn what works for me and what doesn't work for me, learn what risk I'm willing to take. And if I'm willing to take the risk, to not be fearful of it. I have to be able to have the confidence that this is what I'm risking on every trade, and I'm willing to risk that on any given trade. And if it doesn't work, it's fine, because there's always going to be another trade. And now that the way I'm trading with my risk reward is virtually 1-to-1, I always know that the last trade is easily made up on the next trade. And if I get 2 losses in a row, well, it's easily made up on the next 2 trades, and on and on. And that is huge. And I think that I underestimated the true impact of that when I was trading PATS system. And virtually the past whole 3+ years, I have never traded a system where my risk reward was better than 3-to-1 on any trade. Like there's never been a trade I had taken in 3+ years on futures where my risk reward was better than 3-to-1. And it's risk to reward. So I'd have to risk 3 trades just for that one reward on every trade. And sometimes it was much worse than that. There were trades I took that were 4-to-1, 5-to-1, 6-to-1. So it's interesting because, Apex made this new rule that you have to have, risk reward of at least 4-to-1 at worst. And it really started making me think about it. And especially when I stopped streaming, I was like, I really have to find a way to trade where if I take a loss, it's not losing my last whole week of work, especially when I'm only getting 3 trades in a week or 4 trades or 5 trades or whatever it is. I mean, today I took, I mean, as far as entries go, 8 trades. I took 8 entries today. And every time I took an entry today, I knew that any of those losses, if they were losses, I could get it back on whatever the next trade is. And that's huge. And I think I underestimated that because I know I got comments along the way while I was trading live on stream where people are like, your risk reward, that's the biggest problem. I remember Saggy. I don't know what happened to Saggy. He stopped tuning in. Maybe he just gave up on me towards the end of my live streaming. But I remember that was one of his first comments. I remember the comments that come in. And one of his first comments is like, your risk reward is really bad. And I was thinking, well, yeah, but look at my win percentage. At the time, I was keeping track of all my trades and my stats and my win rate. And at the time, I was like 83% on my trading for the entire year of 2024. And so I was like, well, I'm really more focused on my win rate because if I can be 84%, then even if my risk reward is bad, the winning at that kind of a clip should far outweigh the losses. But at the end of the day, I found out that wasn't true. Win rate is kind of a myth. I'm not keeping track anymore, and I don't care anymore because the thing that I really learned is like the win rate doesn't tell the story. The story is unfortunately in the P&L. And the story is when you take a loss, how hard is it for you to get your loss back and get back to profitable? That's the story. That's the truth, So, it's a lot. I mean, that's the thing about trading that is completely overlooked. When you get started trading, you find a strategy that you think you see other people doing it. It seems to be working for them. Of course, most people out there on YouTube and elsewhere aren't really telling you the truth about their profitability and when they're winning and when they're losing. And they hide their losses and they don't show them. They only show their wins. They only show their big green days. They don't show their account numbers usually. So you don't really know how many accounts they're blowing through, in rapid succession. And so, it's just this thing where, you're kind of you're sold on a concept, but you don't really know, right? You don't really know the truth of it. And then you pour your heart and soul and time and effort into it. And, it might be, you might just be, being gaslit, it might just be a myth. And, so having said all that, I think, probably the biggest thing I've changed, here's the biggest things I've changed. Not streaming online, not live streaming my trades online takes the pressure off. My maximum risk being 30 ticks, no matter what the trade is like huge for me. Hey, Halo Eraser, welcome. So let me see. Yeah, so not trading on stream been huge for me because I just was, like I was saying, I was so tight in my trading. I got so tight. I got so fearful. Whether I realized it or not in real time, I was like so concerned, so fearful about looking stupid, taking a bad trade, trying something that doesn't work, being able to experiment while I'm trading. Because, the reality is, most of us, all of us, I think, no matter how good you are, I think every day you're still learning, you're still adapting, you're still learning and evolving and changing, and the market's changing and you have to adjust with it. And when I was streaming, I was so tight. Like I was afraid of losing. I was afraid of looking dumb. I was afraid of taking bad trades. I was afraid of like people coming into the chat and kind of criticizing me and saying like, that was stupid what you just did, or you should trade this other way because like clearly what you're doing isn't working. And so I was trying to be perfect. And then the more I tried to be perfect and take perfect trades, the worse I would do. And it was just this kind of like snowball effect, right? And I had to get away from that. And that was really, when I, again, it's like, I kept getting to these points where I'd go on these streaks where I'd do really well. And then there would be this like block of a week or a couple weeks or a month or whatever it is, where it would all just come crashing down. Right. And I'd blow up accounts, and then I wasn't able to like recover the way I used to be able to before I was on YouTube. Like before I was on YouTube, I would have those times, but then I would be able to pick myself back up and just clear my mind and get it all out of my system and start doing the right things again. But I was just seeing, streaming and trading together for me. I was just too, too in my head, too tight, too concerned about losing my, and then really just locking myself away and continuing to trade for the past month off stream. It was like light bulbs were going off. Like I was seeing things that I've recognized in the past, but I was seeing the market in a new way. And it was just kind of like these multiple light bulb moments. Another one is honestly having the 5-minute chart up with the 1-minute chart. I'm not trading off the 5-minute chart necessarily, but I'm looking for areas a lot of times where there's overlapping candles. I mean, it doesn't look like it on today's chart as far as the 5-minute, but it wasn't really the case on the 1-minute chart today for me either, except for right here. I'm doing two things. I'm looking to trade inside the previous bar on the next bar for overlapping candles. And then I'm looking to trade like these kind of like IV spikes here or like here in the direction of the spike. So, between that concept, between adding the 5-minute so I can kind of like see a little bit of a bigger picture and see where the overlapping bars are on the bigger picture as well, in comparison to what's happening on the 1-minute, and then throwing on the RSI and the MACD. I mean, I'll tell you what, I like way back years and years ago when I was trading stocks and trading options like that, I used RSI and MACD and I threw it away when I started trading futures. Why did I throw it away? Because of MAC, because of price action trading system and MAC. He didn't use it, so I didn't use it. He used tick charts, 2000 tick charts. I used 2000 tick charts. He traded ES, I traded ES, and so I think 2024 is like the year of me just trying to shed Mac's PATS system entirely. And it's really taken me this whole time. I mean, where are we? We're in September, 9 months. I've ripped apart little pieces of it along the way from myself. And I've added things, I've taken things away. But at the end of the day, I was always still trading the second entries. No matter what I was trying to do, I was still trading second entries. So I'd never really gotten away from it. And this is really the first time in this past month where I'm like off of it. Like there's like a few things I keep in terms of reading the market, but in terms of my trades, my entries, how I take my trades, my setups, it's gone. I'm not trading second entries anymore. It doesn't work for me. Halo Eraser says, been struggling myself recently. Tell me about it, Halo. What do you think's your issue? It's so easy. There's so many dynamics in trading. There's so many variables. And like, sometimes it's like, I think we're looking as like traders trying to figure out how to get profitable or stay profitable or whatever the case may be. I think we're like looking at the forest sometimes and it's like overwhelming. And you try to like say this one thing or that one thing is the thing that's holding me back. But then we're not paying attention to like what makes up the forest. And like, to me, it was like I'm feeling better about things in this past month not streaming because I started, like I said, kind of like deconstructing what I was doing, like pulling things out of it, pulling it apart, and like throwing away things that, it's like, and you don't want, it's like, you try, if you really are studying something, like I was studying Mac's PATS system for so long, if you're really studying it that intensely, like I was, it's so ingrained in your mind. It's hard to give it up. It's hard to like not see things through that lens. And like, to me, I think that was the thing all of 2024 for as many things as I did. I took off the 21 EMA. I stopped trading in ES. I stopped trading 2000 tick charts. I stopped drawing the trend channels the way Mac drew them. It's like for as many things as I stopped doing, I was still trading second entries the whole time. Like I never threw that away. I never tried that, because that was how I was reading the market. That's how I was seeing it. And that's where I was looking to get in. But let me tell you something. I don't know, Halo, if you trade Mac's PATS system, I forget, but, what got me thinking about the way I'm trading now? I wonder if I can find an example. I mean, I don't know if I'll be able to find an example off the bat. Halo says, just the tilting prospect of things I execute, but this past week, all those trades have failed, so I just lose all confidence. Halo, I can relate with you like 100%. Skip and skip and skip trades. Yeah, Halo says I skip and skip and skip trades, and then I guess I'll guess if you're anything like me, skip and skip and skip. They keep working and working and working. You get FOMO, and then you see another one that looks just as good as all these other ones that worked. So you take it, and it fucking loses, right? And then you go, what the fuck? If I took any of those 5 other trades, I would have won. The first one I take that looks just as good as any of the others, it loses. Yeah, then Halo says, then I enter one and get stopped out. Of course, the one I enter. Yep. Dude, that's the story of my trading experience. I'm trading virtually every system I've tried previous to what I'm doing now. Is, you wait for those perfect setups. It's like you have all the reasons, and we're kind of taught, in a lot of these systems from, YouTube, whoever, gurus and whoever they are. It's like you want to take the perfect one, you want to have discipline, you want to make sure you're taking the best one. So you skip and you skip and you skip, and then you see them all working. You're like, well, I got to take this one now because they're just all working anyway. And it's inevitable that you're going to lose on that one. And then exactly. Halo says, I got so mad today. I was so fed up. I just blew my eval. I didn't even care. Yeah, that's the vicious cycle. And like, literally, that's exactly why I left streaming. Because if you go back and watch my streams towards the end, I was in that exact cycle. And it's so frustrating. It's so demoralizing. And you just like, you get so fed up and you get so, it's like you're doing everything that you understand of the system that whoever's you're learning from teaches it that way. And then it just, you just get to the point of like just feeling defeated. And you do get to the point where you've taken on so many losses at a certain point, especially on these prop firms. You've taken so many losses at a certain point where you go, well, I might as well just blow this thing up anyway now, because it's going to be so hard to bring it back at this point that, it's like, I already want to just start over on a fresh account, because it'll be easier to start over on a fresh account than to try to grind this one back. And so you just start doing things, because that psychology internally is working on us. And we're just like, yeah, you know what? Like, it's almost better to blow it anyway. So I might as well just go for it or blow it, and I'll get another one. Right. And then there's more money out of your pocket, bigger hole that you're building, just digging a bigger hole, trying to, get to a payout. And, yeah, Halo says, you took the words out of my mind. Yes, I would rather start fresh than try to build this account back up. Yeah, because it's such a grind, man. It's a grind. And that, if you're trading Apex, it's $30 or whatever to get a 50K account or whatever account you're trading. It's relatively cheap. And so it is. It's like, it's easier to start fresh on another day and say, I'll pay another $30 or whatever, if you're on my funded, if you're paying the $80 or whatever it is, to just start fresh and not have to like dig the 1,000 or 2,000 out of the hole just to get to break even, just to keep trying to get to the account goal. Halo says, but I know in the back of my head, I'm just going to pay for the PA just to get killed. Halo, have you had any payouts yet? Or are you like me with no payouts? Because I got no payouts. I got no fucking payouts. I've been trading futures I've been trading futures prop firm since April of 2023, and I have no fucking payouts. Okay, so you got one payout. Halo's got one payout. You're ahead of me, Halo. You're ahead of me. 2K from Apex. So I applaud you for that. That's not nothing. That's not nothing. I'm telling you. Because look at me. I've, this is my 13th PA account here, but I've had 15. So I blew up number 14 and 15 as well. So out of 15 accounts, I've got one still in the ball game. I'm $430 away from a payout. 17 days traded. Haven't broken any rules. I'm so close. I think I can do it by the payout window next week, but I don't want to jinx myself because I've literally been within like, I forget what the exact number is, but I've literally been within like 30 or 40 bucks of a payout and blew up the account. So I don't want to think that I'm getting this one yet either. So just to even have a payout, like that's a big, big step. So even if you've been struggling, like it's still huge. Oh, Halo says, but I'll be honest, I've yet to get even close to a payout since. How long ago was it? Because, I mean, look at me. I've been trading on Apex since I think it was April. I think it was April 2023 and no payouts yet. You can see 58 evaluations and I've gone 15 PAs, no payouts last month. All right. So it wasn't that long ago in the grand scheme of things. Got paid out August 12th. So that's relatively recently, man. I think just think positively. I know you've gone through another rough spot right now, but you're just like me and we're just like countless other people that are going through it. Like this, I was talking with someone the other day. It's the easiest, hardest money you can ever fucking try to make. It's like, when you win, it's the easiest money, right? But to do it consistently, successfully, over and over again to the point of payouts, especially on prop firms, and to like just keep like that machine moving in the positive direction is like the hardest thing to do. And it's so complicated. There's so many aspects to it. And it's just so easy to like try to like just put a color over the whole thing and say, if I just did this one thing better, it would change everything. Or, like I'm just not doing the system well enough. Like if I just stayed more disciplined to do the system better, it's not always that, because I'm disciplined as hell and I still would end up exactly doing what you said. You're so disciplined, you're skipping because there's something wrong with all those setups, and you finally take one and you lose. And then you stay disciplined even, and you wait and you wait and you wait. And then you take another one and you lose, right? Or you win, but you've only gotten back, because the risk reward sucks so much, you've only gotten back a piece of your loss, right? And you're still red. And so then you take another one because you're getting more aggressive and you're like, I got to get it back. And it's another setup. There's reasons to take it. I'm going to take it. Maybe it's not perfect, but I'm going to take it anyway. And then it loses. And now your hole is, your red hole is getting bigger. And then, you start getting more risky because there's more on the line, and it just goes to shit. It's the truth, And so I think, look, I'm not there yet. Like it's going to be if I can get to this payout, right here, that's going to be a major, major hurdle. So like, I think that first payout is like, you got to rip that Band-Aid off. And, so that's a good thing. You've got that positive thing going for you. For me, I'm thinking like, if I can just get there, like if this can happen next week, even if it doesn't happen next week, if it has to take me longer for some reason, whatever it has to take me, right? Like, I mean, look at the irony of this, like $71 in commissions and I made $73 because I took some losses today on the PA account, but I made $257 with the same exact number of contracts on the trade on one trade. The last trade I took, I decided to copy trade the valuation. Same number of contracts, no difference. Made $257 on $8 of commissions versus $71 in commissions to make 73. So like today wasn't like a smooth day for me. If you look at my review yesterday, I made like $600 on my PA account yesterday, and I took like a few trades, and I think there was one loss in there, but like it was like a pretty super easy day. And like yesterday, I think it was the same kind of thing where I had like I think I had a fake out, kind of like I did today in here. I had a fake out where it took me out of the trade, and then it kept going in my direction, and so I re-entered it and got it right back right away. But yeah, I'm kind of all over the place here. But yeah, man, it's like this will be a huge goal achieved if I can manage to get this done. If this happens next week, like I'm gonna give myself props, man, because like this isn't easy, and like I've had to completely deconstruct everything I do, everything I learned for the past 3 years, everything I've been trading with, like every tool I've been using. I feel like I'm like Yoda in Luke's backpack, just like tossing shit out of the backpack. Like, oh, I'm not gonna use this anymore. Not gonna use that. I don't want this. This isn't working for me. I'm just like tossing it back. Like, oh, I like this one. I'm gonna hold on to this. Like there's just like so many things that I've thrown away entirely, and we'll see. Time will tell. I've been here before. I've been within $40 of a payout. I've been within $300 of payout. I can't tell you how many times I've been exactly where I am right now. 300, 400 away from a payout, 200 away from a payout, only to blow up the accounts. It's got to be, I'm not even kidding. I've probably been that close like 7, 8, 9 times, honestly, and then blow up the account. So, um, I'm close, but I've been here before, and I've felt like this before. I felt like, oh, I changed all these things, and now things are going so well, and I'm going to do it this time. So like this is like not different than the rest, but the biggest difference is it's the first time where I'm going to just do it off stream. Like I'm not going to put that extra pressure on myself, and so far it's a big difference. Like when I take a loss, the two things that make the big difference: I take a loss, I don't feel stupid because I'm live on stream. I don't feel like, oh, I'm looking bad and that sucks and it's not the way I want things to go. And I also know like I'm just taking a 30 tick loss, and 30 ticks isn't much to make up on the NQ. Halo says, yeah, prop firms can be a violent cycle. I need to reset my mind this weekend. Oh, hold on 1 second. Hold on, I'll be right back. All right, I'm back. Totally forgot my dogs were outside with the groomer, and she was trying to give one back and didn't have my phone in sight. All right, so I don't remember what I was saying, but let's see. Halo says, yeah, prop firms can be a violent cycle. I need to reset my mind this weekend. Let me tell you a story. I was literally $40 from 2,600 on one account. I emailed Apex if they could check if I was DCAing. I didn't even get to the payout amount, and I blew the account. I've been there as well. Oh, the whole DCA thing. Yeah, I mean, well, also obviously, you know, all the Apex tightening of rules have made everything much more difficult on us as well, especially for those that DCA. I did try DCAing for a little bit there, and then I was kind of off of it or getting off of it anyways. Like it wasn't really working out for me to DCA, so yeah, it didn't really. When they changed the DCA rule, it was like, okay, well, it wasn't really working for me anyway. I wasn't really good at it, I guess, or I didn't really do it long enough either, so who knows. Oh yeah, Ayla says it was a response to your story about being so close. Yeah. Yeah, so look, I mean, we've all done it. I mean, I even know plenty of people that have talked about how they, you know, they were over the target. You know, they had enough money, they had enough days, everything, and then they still blew the account before they got their payout. So, I mean, we've all done it. Everyone's done it. It's nothing to like feel. You know, the hardest thing too is like, because it's trading is such a solo mission. It's like you know, if you're anything like me, like I just beat myself up, you know, like just like don't give myself any grace, you know. And I feel like that's another thing that I've kind of found in this past month being off YouTube, because YouTube can be like, man, YouTube can be a pretty shitty place for traders, honestly. I didn't really think I didn't really think, honestly, it was affecting me in any sort of way. But once I started trading and not being on, like, look, the first couple of days was really weird to not be streaming while I was trading. I still recorded myself every day, but just the idea of like no one's watching me was like such a freeing thing. But also just, you know, like people don't know like what's going on, you know, like there could be like things going on in my life outside of trading that's affecting me and my trading. And, you know, people come in, they make a comment and they don't know who I am, what my life is, what's going on, what my, you know, what difficulties I'm going through, or who knows what, right? And, you know, people can say something in a comment, just be like a little bit negative in some sort of way. And like, they don't know that they're having the impact that they're having on me. But like, you know, for me, you know, going through it, it's like, yeah, if something's going on in my life that sucks, and then like trading is sucking at the same time and I'm doing terrible, like, you know, you beat yourself up. I'd beat myself up and just be hard on myself. You know, I must be dumb. I'm an idiot. I can't figure this out. I've been trading this long and I'm still not making money. Like I see all these people, you see all these people on YouTube making all this money and everything's so great. Probably lying, most of them. You know, it's just hard, you know? And so when you're streaming, when you're a streamer, and then, and like for someone like me, I don't share my life. Like I go to some of these people's live streams and they're telling every little detail about themselves and their wives and their kids and their, you know, like, man, I don't know how people do that. I don't want to do that at all. I just want to talk about trading. I just want to like share my trading journey, but our lives impact us too, right? So it's not just what's going on the screen and the charts and what our reactions are to it and our executions and the you know, the fallout or the profit that comes from it. It's also what we got going on in the rest of our lives that we're trying, you know, the reason why we're doing this in the first place. So, yeah. Halo says, yeah, YouTube is so toxic. Yeah, I would not want to share any of that. Yeah. I mean, that's not what I'm here for. Like, it's just funny to me. I go to some people's streams. I'm just like, man, you're showing like intimate details of their lives and their families' lives. And, I think that part's kind of crazy too. But regardless, you know, it's also the impact of like the people that come into the chat, I've been lucky. I think, you know, first of all, my channel is not big. So, you know, I get a Halo eraser here and a Roman there. And, you know, there's like a handful of people that come and actually talk to me here. And it's nice that it's smaller, right? Because I can just like focus on one conversation. It's like I go to Alpines, dude. I mean, first of all, crazy. He's got like 22,000 subscribers now, but also crazy. I mean, his chat is just like constantly moving. I don't even know how he like keeps up with it and trades at the same time. And like, it's a lot, right? But then, you know, it's like, for whatever reason, you know, all it takes is that one person to say something in some sort of way, and it can throw us off. You know, I've seen it happen to Alpine. I've seen it happen to a lot of people where it's just like, you know, maybe if it was a different kind of day, if something else was happening that day, if you know, if we weren't red that day, or if we weren't, you know, struggling or whatever the case may be, or maybe something in our personal lives. And then they, you know, someone just says that one thing and it's just like, man, like that's all you can focus on, and it fucks you for the rest of the day, you know. Halo says, I guess it helps when you know that the chat is paying for your new Porsche. Yeah. You're right about that, Halo. Through referral codes, no doubt about it. And that's the other thing too, like I'm not making money on referral codes. You know, there's been a handful of people that have used my code, but I'm not making, you know, when I was streaming every day, I wasn't making any money off the, you know, I'm red overall with my Apex journey. And yeah, I mean, it helps. Like it put a little teeny dent in my debt to Apex. But, yeah, when, you know, these guys have these affiliate codes, and a lot of people using them, I'm sure it makes them, it's definitely the reason why a lot of them still do it. I'll tell you that. Even if they are profitable from their trading, I mean, they could be doubling their amount that they're making from their trading from their affiliate, you know? So it's definitely a great revenue stream. I found it funny. Kellyanne was talking so much smack about everybody who uses affiliate codes, and like, you know, she was making like, oh, I'll put other people's affiliate codes on my thing so that, you know, other people are making the money. Oh, I'm not interested in it. I'm not interested in it. And then like a week ago or whatever it was, her videos about how she made $20,000 in affiliate codes. And like, yeah, now you got 4,000 subscribers off the back of using Alpine's name when you had 600. And now you see the light. You like affiliate codes, don't you, Kellyanne? Yeah. Yeah, that's what she claimed. I mean, she didn't show the receipts, but she put up the number on her screen that she said she made 20K. Yeah. Halo says 20K, what in the world? I'm in the wrong business. Yeah, I'll tell you, like, that's the thing, right? You don't even need to trade. You could lie about, I mean, that's what a lot of these people do. You know, they lie. So who knows? I mean, I guess Trades by Matt is making like 200K. What in the fuck? For sure. Trades by Matt, you know, he's a great trader, and he finally, with Apex, figured out how to make some money. I think actually Apex was great for him in his trading style. I think Apex made him a better trader actually than when he was at Top Step, from my perspective, my observation. But yeah, and then, you know, he had a sponsorship with Top Step, you know, exclusive sponsorship. So they're paying him a shit ton of money. And, I mean, it seems like he's exclusive with Apex. So I'm pretty sure they're probably paying him what Top Step was probably paying him before. I don't see him talking about any other accounts or anything, or showing anything. I don't watch him all the time, but from what I've seen, and then he's got the affiliate codes on top of it, and he's got the trading on top of that. But yeah, I'm telling you, like, people like Nutty Bar, Alpine, Kellyanne now. I bet, you know, who's making a lot of money? I bet is 0 Day J off the affiliates. I'm sure they're all cleaning up. And the great thing, I mean, there's nothing wrong with affiliates, by the way. Like, I think affiliates are cool, because you know what? If the affiliates aren't getting that money, You know who's getting the money? Just Apex. Apex is just getting that money. So might as well like spread the wealth out and let people like join in. Like if someone's putting in the time and effort to do a YouTube and people like them and like what they're putting out there and they want to use their affiliate code, like I say power to them. Like I'd rather it go to like, I don't care who it is, Nutty Bar, Kellyanne, Alpine, whether I like them or not, Trades by Matt, like whoever you want to name out there, Patrick, like they're putting it out there, and it's hard because I've got like just a small little teeny tiny taste of what they go through, and it's not easy to trade on stream. It's not easy to put this stuff out there and then to be entertaining on top of it. I don't think I'm that entertaining. I'm just kind of like, hey, I'm just kind of here to show my journey. I suck right now. Been sucking a really long time. Sometimes I get a little good for a little while, but then I suck again. And but I'm just real with it, hopefully somebody gets something out of it. I know I'm getting something out of it by sharing, just even doing the update yesterday and doing the update today and talking like this. Like I'm getting things out of it. It's just like to get it out of my system and talk about it. So, yeah, Halo says, but yeah, get their bag, whatever. Yeah, exactly. But honestly, Halo, I mean, I think like you were able to manage to get the payout last month. And so you now know you can do it. You're like that one step ahead of me at the moment. Like, you can do it because you've done it before, right? Like you've been close so many times. Now you've done it. Now you've gone through this rough patch. I'll tell you too, like trading has not been easy. Like look at Alpine, like look at, me, like I went through it. I went through it to the point where I stopped streaming. It's been really hard lately, ever since that July day where the market just tanked. Like the market's been like, whoa, kind of weird, kind of hard. Volatility's been up. The ATR has been huge. I mean, there's been times where I'm seeing 100 tick plus ATR on the 1 minute chart. Like when I first started trading the 1 minute chart, it was like a regular 30 to 45 tick ATR. So you're talking about more than double a lot of times, especially, early around the market open and then around the news events and all these things. Halo says trading is incredibly hard. Yeah. So, my biggest thing I would just say is like, especially right now, going into this weekend, knowing that you had a hard time, just give yourself some grace, like give yourself some understanding. Like you're not perfect yet. It's not like, you're still working on yourself and you're still working on your trading game, and there's still like a lot of room for improvement and a lot of room for adjustments. And the one thing I'd say is like, however you're trading, don't be afraid to start like throwing some of it out. You've been trading for a long while now, if I remember right. How long have you been trading futures? Because that to me, that's the spot I'm in now. Like I'm at the spot where I'm realizing like, all right, it's time to like be real with myself and futures 2 years. All right. So, you're 2 years in, I'm 3 years in. And I think like it's good to give a strategy 2 years, maybe even 3 years like I did. Oh yeah, you did Mac too. Okay. I couldn't remember if you were the one that was doing Mac as well. I remember we talked about this in the past, but then I think I confused you with someone else at one point, and they weren't doing Mac, and so I got confused. But yeah, so you say, Halo says, I still have some Mac habits I'm trying to throw away. Yeah, so we can relate with each other on like a crazy level because I've been through the whole Mac thing just like you, like hardcore Mac in it, believe it, trust it. Like I've been in all the way through the wormhole and I've come out the other end. And for me, after 3 years, I decided, all right, it's not going to work for me. Like I know I was dedicated and I know I put the time, the effort, the hours, the chart time, the journaling, like I put all that into it. And I couldn't make it work. And after 3 years, I had to be real with myself and say, you know what? This Mac thing just isn't going to be the thing for me. Like I gotta understand that now. Right. And so I try to throw it away, but it's so hard. It's so ingrained. I see the two legs, whether I want to see them or not. I see the second entries, whether I want to see them or not. And this last month, I'll tell you, has been like, it's been like hard, but also freeing to just let it go. Let it go. My kid is 3 years old, so there's a lot of frozen that goes on over here. Yeah, it says he's laughing. He says, "In my nightmare, I see the fucking two legs, dude. I dream about it. I'm not kidding you. I have dreams about trading, and it's in second entries and seeing two legs, and in my dream, I tell myself I have to stop. Don't do it anymore." And it sucks because I know people that have been successful with it, or supposedly successful. I mean, I don't think there's anyone I know that trades it that I've had personal relationships with, but all online, online conversations and discords and things. And they claim they're successful with it. I mean, you see Daniel. I don't know if you know about Daniel. He's on the Facebook Mac website, whatever you want to call it. Yeah, fucking Mac. There's people out there that claim to, but I haven't seen the receipts. He puts the chart up. I see the winners. I don't see the losers. Who knows? I don't know. There's others out there that I've seen claim to be profitable and making money using it, and they show their charts with winners and all that stuff. But at this point, I'm skeptical. Even Mac, like, I don't know why he would lie, but I do know why he would lie. But he doesn't have, he's only charging $125 a year. Like, if he wanted to lie like that and be making money for that reason, like, he could go bigger and harder. So I think, honestly, this is just my opinion, I think Mac probably is really successful with it. I think for him, it works because the way his brain works and the way he sees things, and he's got 20 years and the whole thing, like, I think it probably does work for him. I think he probably is successful. And I think there probably are the handful of people that fucking bought his course and watch him on YouTube and, dove into it. And I think there's probably, a handful of people out there that are actually profitable with it. But I think there are way more people, I'm talking 95% plus, like you and me, that have been trying it for years, and we can't make it fucking work. It works a little bit. It works sometimes. We'll make some money here and there, but we'll give it all fucking back, and we'll blow up our accounts, and it's inevitable for most of us. Like, I don't even know. Maybe it's 98%. Maybe it's 99%. It's probably no different than the statistics about people that trade, day traders. In the overall, they say 1 to 3% is successful and 97 to 99% fail, right? Especially in their first year, 2 years, 3 years, 4 years, 5 years. Those are the numbers, right? So we're just like everybody else, and I think that's what I've really realized being off stream is, like, it doesn't matter. We're like the ones that make it are because they didn't give up. Alpine Trader, he's been trading for like 8 years, something like that. He found his way to futures. He came in the futures right at the right time. Dude, when I started trading futures, prop firms weren't what prop firms are now. They were expensive. It was basically just Top Step, and it was expensive. And it was a 3-step process. You had to go through 2 evaluations to get to funded, and it was expensive. And the activation fee was expensive and everything. It wasn't what it is today. Alpine came in and started trading futures right as Apex started gearing up, right as Apex started becoming what Apex was at the time, with virtually no rules, 30% and hit the target. That was basically all he had to do. And he just came in at the right time, and then he figured out his orb trade right at the right time, and he banked off of it for month after month after month after month, but he's a unique case. I remember when I first started watching him, he didn't have all the answers and he wasn't making all the money, and he had a nice stretch, and now he's struggling again, but I'm sure he'll figure something out. But for you and I specifically, and anyone that trades Mac, anyone that trades PATS from Mac system, we just got to be real with ourselves. Right? Like, There's only going to be a couple people that really figure it out. And the rest of us are going to struggle and struggle and struggle. And then at some point, you got to make a decision. Are you going to stick with it and never give up on that one strategy? Because there's 1,000 strategies, right? There's 1,000 strategies. And anybody can win with any one of them. And virtually nobody can win with all of them. And virtually nobody can win when you pick one of them, you know? So, I mean, for me, I got to the point where, yeah, Halo says it's been long enough. People making money buying moon phases and shit. That's the fucking thing. If you go and just watch enough different streamers out there, because that's what I do. Like, it's funny, like watching trading streamers, trader streamers has like replaced my TV habits. And I'll watch, I don't care what they're trading. I don't care what style. I don't care if it's NQ or something else or what, but I literally just start watching anybody and everybody. And I've got my favorites, of course, but I just start watching everybody. And it's the thing that really made me realize, like, all of these people are all trading different. If you watch enough of them, everybody's trading different. Everybody's trading different. And even the people that claim they're trading like so-and-so, like ICT, they're all trading different from each other. None of them are trading exactly the same way. And some of them seem more successful than others. And some of them seem like they're profitable, and some of them you question. But everybody's trading different. And you can, on any given day, see anybody trading any sort of way, and they're making a shit ton of money that day. And then you see them the next day and they're losing a shit ton of money, or they're not showing it, or they erased their stream, or, or they only put reviews up when they did good and they don't put them up when they did bad, and the reality that I found for myself, especially in this past month off stream, is like, I don't have to trade like anybody. I don't have to trade like anybody else. I just need to trade like me, and what makes sense for me and what I can find works for me. And as long as I got my head right, and as long as like I don't go on tilt, then it doesn't even matter how I trade. And I don't have to be hard on myself trying to trade like somebody else and beat myself up because it's not working. Like, I think that was the hardest thing about PATS for me, Max System, is I beat myself up because it seems like I should be able to do it because I understand it. I've been doing it long enough. It makes sense to me. And I see other people doing it and supposedly making money off of it. And so I had all the good reasons to skip all those trades like we talked about. They all won. If I just took them all, I'd be a winner, but I didn't. And then I take the ones I take and I lose, and then I lose my shit, and then I blow it up. And then I get mad at myself, and then it's a vicious cycle. And then I try to rebuild myself back up and believe in it and go back. Oh, it must be me. I got to study harder. I got to do this. I got to do that, because it can't be Mac. It can't be a system, right? So it must be me. But it is. It is me. It is me, because Mac system doesn't work for me. That's the whole thing. There's nothing wrong with this system. It works for him. It works for Daniel. It works for Marco, I guess. Works for some other people out there. I guess it works for Trader Joe, whatever his name is. I don't know. If you catch UK Trader, sometimes it works for him. Sometimes it doesn't. And I like UK Trader because he's real with it. Like, sometimes he doesn't want to show things. Sometimes he does it off stream. He always comes back and tells you the truth. He always comes back and, I fucking blew up those accounts last week, man. He says it with his beautiful British accent, but yeah. Let me catch up here. Halo says, yeah, I try to limit my trading content because I asked myself what am I watching them for? I don't trade their strategy. I don't even know their strategy. Trader Joe trades now, farmer to trader. I don't know if it's the same Joe. I don't really know what exactly his name is. There's a something Joe out there that trades two-leg pullbacks. I don't know if he trades it. It looks like he trades like Max system. Honestly, I haven't watched him enough to really totally know, but it looks like he's trading like second entries, two legs. At least the older stuff I saw. I haven't watched him recently, so I don't know if he's changed things up or what. But like, just like you saying, you're like, why are you watching these people? They don't trade like me and all that. Like I had some people that like I subscribed to just to watch because they were trading max system. Then I stopped following them. Then I actually started following people that were trading anything like max system or anything like me, because I think like even to just see how other people think, like whether the system is good or not, whether I'm going to trade that system or not, like just to see why they take the trades they take, where they take them, like what they're thinking, what their thought process was. Like maybe I get something out of it. Most of the time I don't. Maybe most of the time I think like their way of trading is stupid, and mostly I think like I don't even believe that they're successful, even though they're repping that they are. But it's still interesting. Like even like I used to check out Nutty. I don't really watch him a lot, but I check in on him. He's been doing a lot better recently. I mean, he's got $100,000 in payouts this year, which is crazy to me because I remember when I first started watching him, I thought he was terrible. It was like hard to watch him terrible. I'm not like one of those kinds of people that like get a thrill or get happy when I see other people fail, because I failed so much. I actually feel bad about it. And it, like some people like to watch other people fail because it makes them feel better. I'm not one of those people. I want to see people do well. And so it's been nice to see him doing better lately. But man, I thought he was a terrible trader. I still would watch to see just what his thought process, like, why is he taking it there? And like me and my brother used to joke, like, it's like, oh yeah, just do the opposite of him and you'll make a lot of money, because it seems like it just would, this is the old days. Like he'd take a trade and it would just immediately go the other direction on him. And it was just like, man, just watch Nutty and enter the opposite of him every time. You'll make money probably. And we would laugh about that, but I didn't feel good about the fact that he was losing like that. I wanted to see him succeed, you know? So I don't know. It's kind of eye opening to just randomly just click on other people. Like there's this Kiamber trades, and she trades nothing like anything I've, you know, she trades those, I don't even remember what those bars are called, some other kind of bars. And she, you know, trades based on like volume and things, and like range bars or something. And, you know, it's not the way I trade, but I think it's interesting to just see, like, she's working on her own kind of system. I think it's kind of just interesting as someone who's constantly trying to come up with my own system in the past year. Literally, it's been a year now since I started my YouTube. I've been on the hunt and on the search for like finding my own system, just trying to like throw different things together and throw away different things and come up with my own thing. But like I was saying, the biggest thing is I just never been able to throw away the second entries in the two legs. And so that's where I'm at now. I think it's good for me. I think the best thing I'm doing in this past month is throwing out second entries entirely, not using second entries. I'll tell you the only time I even consider second entries, maybe this is a good example. Here, let me look at this. This is the only time, and it's not a second entry, it's a failure. The only time I'm looking for second entries, I'm looking for when price shoots through my midline of the Bollinger and comes and gives me a first attempt short and a second attempt short, and to take the failure in the same direction. Oftentimes at the midline of the Bollinger, sometimes not at the midline, but that's kind of what that's the only time I'm willing to look at like a second entry type of entry, and it's on a failure. But I'm a little bit still not sure if I'm really taking them or not, because I still don't want to put my stop at the bottom of the bar. I still only want a maximum 30 tick risk. I'm willing to take the 30 tick loss. So if it stops me out and then it's going to go back in my direction, I'll just re-enter it. But that's really the only kind of second entry I'm willing to take anymore. And that literally, like, I see second entries and I'm just like, I'm not taking that, because this is what I was going to say before. I'm not going to be able to find an example of it probably, but like, how many times you got a new high here, first entry long, second entry long? I don't know if this actually ticked above or not. Let me see. 57. It did. It ticked up one tick and then went below, but it didn't fail technically under here. Of course, This is off an inside bar. There's reasons not to take it, but whatever. But what I found, it's pretty small probably, right? What I found, like, here, see if you recognize this, Halo. Like, have you had the situation where just like, let's say this is actually a good signal bar. Let's say this is the low and not this bar. And so let's say this is a great, entry. It's not, but let's say it is. All those times where it ticks one up and ticks you into the trade and then comes back down. You know why I'm trading the way I'm trading now? Like, I'm trading inside the previous bar now because of all those times it ticked one and then it traded back inside that previous bar. That was something I recognized that happened to me all the time trading PATS, where my entry trapped me in, and then it would just become like, it would just want to fill the body of the previous bar. And so that's actually what a big part of what I'm looking for now. Let me go to this trade here. So I lost this trade, but what I was looking for was like this bar came down and then it went back up and it was pushing up into the body of this bar. And so I was entering inside the body of this bar because so many times it will fill the body of the bar. Like, even if it doesn't fill it on the next one, like this entry, and this happens to be kind of like a second entry, but that's a new high. But this bar has a nice big body, and then this bar came down and then filled it, right? Like, that happens all the time if you pay attention to it. And so, what do you say? Oh, one tick trap, baby. I know all about them. In the fucking best. Oh, I'm the fucking best at getting one tick trap. They call me the one tick trap god. Well, I was right there with you, man. So I can relate. So, but that's what made me recognize, like, how many times do you get like a second entry that traps you for one or two ticks, but then it just goes to like refill the previous bar's body. And so that's what got me like thinking like, well, okay, now that I recognize that, well, really fuck Max Pats then, because I'm actually now trading opposite of his entry rules. He's teaching to trade outside of the bar, and my trades are now inside the bar. Not counting these IV spikes, but I wonder if I can go back to yesterday. Where was my trade yesterday? Here. This was my trade yesterday. So this, I literally traded, well, this one actually I remember had to do with the 5-minute chart too, but literally it was me just trading the inside of this previous red bar. I was just like, oh, it's pushing back up. Okay, I think it's going to fill to the top of the red bar. And I literally scalped out 6.5 points just by trading this bar to fill the inside of the red bar. That's what I'm looking for. I'm trading opposite of Mac. He says take outside bar, trade when the bar goes outside of the previous bar. I'm not wanting to trade inside the body of the previous bar. So I'm doing like, it's like what I was saying about Nutty, where I was like, man, just do the opposite. I decided I'm doing the opposite of Mac. That's how I'm trading now. It's reverse Mac. Yeah. What K-Cam trades? What's K-Cam? I'm gonna have to stop the stream here soon. I'm gonna have to go pick up my daughter from school. But I don't know what K-Cam is. But yeah, it's like reverse Mac entries. He says to trade when the bar goes outside of the previous bar, and I'm looking to trade inside the previous bar to fill the previous bar. Oh, just Mac backwards. Got it. That's funny. Mac backwards. I should literally name my system K-Cam. I like that. So yeah, it's just like an observation, because it's exactly that thing. How many times do you get ticked into a trade on Mac's system, and then the bar just reverses and fills the previous bar, just fills the body of the previous bar. So that's where I'm at now. Yeah, no, hey, Halo, I appreciate you coming in here and having the conversation with me. Dude, I know what you're going through. Halo says, I'm glad you're seeing success. I wouldn't go that far. I've been here before. I've had this much success before, about to pass an evaluation, about to maybe almost get to a payout. I got to get there. So let's talk next week. Yeah, for sure. Always good to talk to someone relatable. That's for sure. So, dude, I know what you're going through. I've been there so many times. It's like max system. You achieve, you feel like you're finally getting there. You get to the point where you're like, oh, it's finally clicking. Okay, I'm finally going to take the next step. And then boom, that's when you're hit in the face. You get knocked down and you feel like, fuck, what am I going to do? It's not working. Like every time I think it's working, I get to this point, I blow up accounts and it's not fucking working. So I just say, when you're ready, when you get to the place mentally where I felt like I got to, just call it. Just call it. It's not going to work for everybody. I got to go grab my dog from outside again. I'll be right back in 2 minutes. I'm going to wrap this up and then I got to go. So I'll be right back. All right. I'm going to wrap this up. Looks like Halo took off already. So you can head out. So yeah, just that's where things are at. I'm feeling positive, hopeful, but yet I also know that it could all fall to shit next week or whenever. And but yeah, I'm just changing things up, doing my thing, not trying to emulate anybody else at this point. Just trying to put together a package of things that works for me. So, once again, the Bollinger, I've got the standard 2 deviation, the standard 3 deviation. I've got the 50 SMA and a 200 SMA. I've got the RSI and the MACD, and I've got the 5-minute chart and the 1-minute chart, all that stuff on both of them. And I'm just taking entries based on how I'm seeing the market, which is a combination of trading IV spikes as well. Where was it? So trading IV spikes that I can see in the Bollinger when it bulges, and yeah, you can see, there's all my entries today. And not a big day today. Yesterday was a bigger, better day. But hey, I was red like $400, and I finished my PA $73 in the green, and then turned on my evaluation, made 257 today, getting close to passing that. And so things are on the up and up. I've been having a lot of good green weeks over time since I've been off the stream. And what else? Just trying to do my thing and get there. So, all right, this was a much longer stream than I was expecting, but luckily had Halo come visit me and kind of inspired a lot of conversation. So I'm going to leave it there. We'll see how next week goes. I probably, unless there's a reason to give an update sooner, I probably will just do an update on like Friday or something. Maybe Fridays will be my thing. But if I do get to qualify for the payout and get to submit it, I'll definitely do an update for that when that happens. Maybe I'll do it for passing the evaluation too. And then go from there and just see how things play out. Definitely not ready to start streaming again yet, streaming my live trades, but I kind of like this. Dynamic of just like doing kind of like an update review type of thing, talking about how trading's going, doing it live on the stream so that if anyone has, wants to comment and have a conversation, then do that. And so, yeah, I think that's where I'm going to leave it. I think I covered all I have to cover for now. So yeah, that's about it. Thanks for watching. Like and subscribe if you've never seen me before and you want to see some more updates, some more conversations like this in the future. This is where I'm going to be at. And hopefully I'll see you guys next time. I'm out of here. Have a good weekend.